With an NFL record, 6 quarterbacks and 7 wide receivers taken in the first round tonight, the NFL draft kicked off on a big note with some things that were foreseen and some things that were just downright confusing and head-scratching. Want to find out what went down? Stay tuned to the Draft Night edition of Gridiron Gab Pro Style. Welcome back, you guys. As you all know, yours truly took in part in for NFL draft in its entirety, and there were some exciting moments, some rather surprising moments, and just moments that you knew were going to happen, and maybe a handful of moments that had you scratching your head. But let's get to it. As everybody suspected, the Bears and the Commanders did what they were supposed to do. But probably the first head scratcher I had was of course, the New England Patriots taking Drake May. Despite all the questions and, possible risks that could have went with this guy, they went ahead and they drafted him. I thought, as you guys knew in one of my shows that I released this morning, I thought that the Patriots were just dead set on getting Michael Penix Jr. and possibly trading back and getting Rome Odunze. I hope they've got a better plan in place as of now. And as we all know, the Falcons had the head scratcher of the night, but we'll get more into it. As Marvin Harrison went to the Arizona Cardinals, Joe Alt was a guy that was projected to go to the Tennessee Titans, but as you know, Jim Harbaugh likes physical linemen. He likes to run the football, so he did not go with a wide receiver here. Many thought that Malik Neighbors was going to be the pick here, which he was not. Then we look over and we see the Giants, who many suspected there would be a quarterback pull here. So I'm thinking maybe this was misinformation to get people to jump on the trade, and people most of the GMs and coaches, stayed put, and the pick was Malik Neighbors. So I'm guessing what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, look, the top 3 decisions weren't here, so we're not going to go and take anything. We're going to build up that receiver room, which is a smart idea, but given the fact that Michael Penix Jr. was on the clock, he was on the big board, I would have went ahead and took him, knowing that he might need to sit 1 year with Daniel Jones's money running out next season. Then, of course, Tennessee goes and they take the next best tackle available in J.C. Latham out of Alabama, who needs a little bit of work. He needs refining, but he'll be fine. And then, of course, the surprising pick of the night was Michael Penix Jr. If you guys have not seen, I have my reel up about this. It's insane. But guys, go and check it out at my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo. Or if you are a member of the group Gridiron Gab Pro Style, go to the story and it's on there. But this was a real head scratcher for me. Michael Penix to Atlanta. Rome Odunze, it is taken 9th to Chicago. This is a big move here as well, because now Caleb Williams has a guy he can grow with. And then you have J.J. McCarthy, who traded up from the 11 position with the Jets to get J.J. McCarthy. In my opinion, Yeah, this no. I think what happened was is Michael Penix changed the entire position, and I've told you guys many times in uh, past shows that the the temperature of a draft or the way things are going can change the whole landscape of how players can be drafted. And this, of course, was the benefit of J.J. McCarthy as well as Bo Nix. I think one of the surprises that came about was the Jets taking Fashanu when so many people had projected that Brock Bowers was going to be the pick here. And I think the powers that be finally understood that maybe, just maybe, we need to kind of pump the brakes on here and get somebody to protect Aaron Rodgers in a sense. So I'm sensing they're going to keep him around. They want him to be around the full season. So this definitely had to be the pick instead of Brock Bowers. And then, of course, the next pick, which Denver stayed put, and they drafted Bo Nix. And, of course, you hear all the analysts talking really big, saying that, oh, he's got Drew Brees-like qualities and whatnot. I'm not going to go that far. But he is impressive and is a good player. So we could definitely see Sean Payton doing some really big things with him. Probably another shocker of the night is the next pick, which was Brock Bowers selected by the Las Vegas Raiders when they already have Michael Mayer. Now, it's possible that they want to run the football, and that's possibly where they're going to go with this pick. But, yeah, this one was really a confusing one to me. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. Bowers is a great player. I mean, unless you're going to play big, which could be huge if you're running a lot of screens and so on and so forth. But you never know. We'll see what Vegas is going to do, especially if they need somebody to get on the other side of that defensive line to help Max Crosby and even in the secondary room. The 14th pick, no surprise, the Saints need offensive line help. Fuega's a great pick here. And then I was kind of shocked that our first defensive back was not taken here. Latu is a great player, probably the best pass rusher in this draft, arguably, with Dallas Turner not being there. I'm not sure why you take him over Turner. I guess because Turner is more of a bull rusher, like Jared Verse was, and I don't know. That one kind of confused me a little bit too, which leads me to the Byron Murphy selection by Seattle, which was 16. This right here was like this is the best lineman in the draft as far as the guy who can put pressure on the quarterback and be your dominant run stopper. He's going to be a great fit in Seattle, a team that doesn't have a great pass rush and is not great against the run. Then you see Minnesota's moving up to get Dallas Turner out of Alabama, being that he was available where he was. And the projections were that the Falcons were going to get this guy at number 8, and that didn't materialize, and he was still on the board, surprisingly. So I think this was a great value pick for the Minnesota Vikings, probably one of the smartest picks. That's why I was not big when Louis Riddick said that the Baltimore Ravens had the best draft tonight. And you'll see why later on. I'll give you an idea. I like who they picked, but I don't think they had the best draft based on the night. But let's move on to the Cincinnati Bengals, who selected Amarius Mims out of Georgia. Everybody knows that the Cincinnati Bengals have to continue to pursue protecting Joe Burrow. So Amarius Mims is a massive human being, and they got a really big tackle that's going to keep bodies off of Joe Burrow coming back off of injury. Then you see Jared Verse out of Florida State going to the Rams, whom with the retirement of Aaron Donald, they needed to get some guys to go on that edge. So that was pretty much a great move. I would imagine they would have taken Byron Murphy without a question had this guy been available. But then we moved to Pittsburgh, and the Steelers get Troy Fontenot, who is probably arguably the best guard in this draft. So they got younger and they got more nasty because the Steelers have not been what you call the traditional Pittsburgh Steelers the last couple of years, because that line has either become older and less dominant as they've been in the past. Then we move on to the Dolphins, who've had their first round pick since 2016, and they used it on Penn State's edge rusher Chop Robinson, which kind of surprised me a little bit with the two losses they had at a cornerback this year that they did not go and get a corner, but they went and got Chop Robinson, and which Philly jumped on this one, the next pick, which was Toledo cornerback Kenyon Mitchell, arguably the best corner in this year's draft. I would say, and that's why I say arguably. I think there was another guy, and we'll talk about him momentarily. And you saw Jacksonville, who traded down with Minnesota, and they selected Brian Thomas. This was a great pick. And I have to take exception with Booger McFarland saying that Trevor Lawrence needs to start living up to the bill. Booger, Jacksonville was 8-3 before he got hurt. Okay? He's doing his thing. He ain't Daniel Jones. Just saying. We see Detroit. They trade up to take arguably the second best corner in this year's draft, which is Terrion Arnold. This kid is going to be huge. He's a very good press cover guy. He's very good at pressing, and something that Detroit really needs. They need a guy that can press the coverage. Then you go and see Green Bay, and they take offensive tackle Jordan Morgan. No surprise, you want to protect Jordan Love, so you go get Jordan Morgan. And the guy that was the best center in this entire draft, Graham Barton out of Duke, was taken by the Buccaneers. And as I said, they've been looking to replace Ryan Jensen, who left free agency a couple of years ago, and I think they've done it. And this is pretty much a guy who we all knew was going to be taken in the first round. It was maybe a little bit lower than anticipated, but we knew what was going to happen. And then the Arizona Cardinals get back and take Darius Robinson. Now, this is a huge take. This is a guy that is going to be a major move that is going to be able to allow Arizona to do so many things on their defense and get do so many things schematically. He is such a good player. Then you see Kansas City trade up, and I knew when I saw this, I knew who the pick was going to be. I told somebody weeks ago, don't let the Kansas City Chiefs get their hands on Xavier Worthy. And this is where I'm sitting here thinking, really, Buffalo? Really? And y'all wonder why y'all can't beat them. This is who y'all should have drafted. Wow. And then looking at the Cowboys, who also traded down in this draft, and I'm kind of okay with that because it sort of makes sense. They take Tyler Guyton at tackle, and trying to get this line back to where it was when they were on the cusp of being that elite team. Then the one that Louis Riddick is just raving about. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Nate Wiggins is the number one corner. He was before this hip injury. But he ran the fastest 40 time, and he has those intangibles that make you. This is where, when I saw us trade up, and this is where I'm not happy with us. I was sitting here thinking, okay, I just saw Nate Wiggins get drafted. Why are we trading up? Because to me, Nate Wiggins would have been a guy worth trading up for. Now, a lot of people have said, well, we don't need corner. Actually, we do. We need to put another guy on the other side of J.C. Horn. With the provision that J.C. Horn can stay healthy. And if he can't, guess what? We got Nate Wiggins. Now we don't. And unfortunately, now he's in Baltimore. And then you've got San Francisco drafting Ricky Purcell. This one was really confusing. I'm looking at, this is a guy, don't get me wrong, he's lower on the totem pole, and he was lower on the pecking order of receivers, but don't get me wrong, he's made some great plays. He's got that one-handed catch against Utah, but no, I don't know what San Francisco is seeing here, but no. It's just no. I that one kind of made me scratch my head as well. And then finally, the Carolina Panthers, we took the Xavier Leggett out of South Carolina, and that was just kind of like, we traded up to get a guy that probably would have been there. Now, don't get me wrong, we lost only a 5th-round pick, but we got the same player. The Panthers got the same player, so that's another head-scratcher as well, if any of you guys know I am a Carolina Panther fan. But overall, the draft was very good. It was very eventful, and, of course, always very fun. But, guys, let me know what you thought. Which teams won night one and which teams are just... Anyway, comment down there. Let me know what you think, and we'll get back with you in a couple of hours. But until the next time, same Gab channel, same Gab platform.
But behold, there is a warm breeze that comes from the west. The blazing sounds of victory fuel their everlasting quest. It is a call to arms, for they are here. An army that has the will to challenge and the will to dare.